All right. I don't even know how I got to this page. Let's see here. I think from Facebook somehow. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I was on Facebook. I googled something, and Urban Dictionary came up, and I don't think I'd usually use Urban Dictionary for um, journalism, but they actually have one of the best short explanations of what gang stalking is, what I've gone through for years. So I'll just start reading here. This is a good article, urbandictionary.com, right here. Um, Gang stalking. What is gang stalking? Gang stalking is simply a form of community mobbing and organized stalking combined, just like you have workplace mobbing and online mobbing, which are both fully recognized as legitimate. This is the community form. So I go through everything they just mentioned right there. Gang stalking is organized harassment at its best. It is the targeting of an individual for revenge, jealousy, sport, or to keep them quiet, etc. It's organized, widespread, and growing. Some describe this form of harassment as a psychological attack that can completely destroy a person's life while leaving little or no evidence to incriminate the perpetrators. Yeah, that's very, very true. I'm almost there. I have maybe a couple months before I can, unless some kind of miracle happens, um, before I have to leave this house. I don't know where we'll go. Um, I am psychologically drained. No matter how tough you tell yourself you are, um, what these people put you through in this program is, by they could, they could quit. They could stop targeting you. They could just pull it all away and let you just start over normal life again, where people aren't stalking, harassing you, breaking into your home. So the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Every single day, there's something that just ruins your day. Uh, and then if they did completely pull away, they've dug you into a hole so deep that you can't really just you run out of hope. You're like, oh, okay, these guys got me. Lost my home. Yeah, I won't go down the list. Okay, so who gets targeted? The people getting targeted seem to be single women, minorities, outspoken individuals, whistleblowers, dissidents, people who have gone against the large corporations, etc. Well, if you folks have listened to my videos at all, see, I'm pretty much all of those except for a single woman. I'm a single parent now. Uh, Minorities. Well, I'm a minority in my neighborhood. Uh, Outspoken, who me? Whistleblowers. I never let out any classified information, so I can't technically call myself a whistleblower. I'm just uh, guy that figured a bunch of stuff out that went through this and said something. Dissidents, government. Yeah, during the Obama, Hillary, deep state, United States takedown. Yeah, I actually one time did not stand up for the national anthem when I was in Norman, Oklahoma. Actually, I was in Oklahoma City. I was at a minor league baseball game, and I was so pissed at the current government. I was like, this isn't even America anymore. I'm not standing up for that. And it was a mistake because I still love my country. I just didn't like the people that were destroying it. And looks like somebody's doing something about that now. So hopefully that'll keep going. Um, some documents will be released and be able to have some kind of life, not end up in prison like they're trying to do. Yeah, see, like I'm going to court here in a couple of weeks. I've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm. this was like the part of their end game to get me to shut up, go away. Hey man, if he's in prison, he can't be doing talk shows. He can't be exposing organized stalking and harassment, the program that destroyed his life. You're supposed to let it destroy your life, and you're not supposed to say anything because that way, yeah, they want you to just not say anything. You're supposed to just take it, end up homeless, die, whatever. Oh, it's okay. These people need a job. The people getting targeted seem to be seeing. Okay, I already read that. Goals of this hate campaign. This is a hate campaign. This is the most hateful thing I've ever seen in my life. This goal is to sensitize the target to a. Oh, sorry, I'm getting nauseous. Jeez. The goal is to sensitize the target to a stimuli, isolate the target, make them destitute. The secondary goals seem to be to make the target homeless, jobless, give them a breakdown, and the primary goal seems to drive the target to suicide. I'd never kill myself, but last night I really was to the point where I'd say, if I don't wake up tomorrow, that'd be fine. But I'd never do that. It just, you get so sick of this that you just don't want to deal with it anymore. I understand why some people have done this, and they need justice. Their family needs justice. And the people doing this try to act like they are serving justice when what they're doing is serving a psychological operation, a hate crime. It's a hate crime. It's a crime against humanity. I just posted that military patch on my Facebook page. It shows a skull with a bullet going through. It said, "You've just been fucked by psyops because physical wounds heal." I mean, because even if you're indemnified after being a targeted individual and you figure out who did this to you, you sue them. You get a settlement. You're financially independent the rest of your life. You still don't get back the how many ever years you've been targeted where you've lived a fake, artificial, plastic, non-organic life. You can't get that back. They stole your time from you. They're the time bandits, They impede your progress to, quote, travel. The surprising thing is that gang stalkers can be found in every level of society. There is no real age barrier, gender barrier, and a variety of races to participate. In almost every occupation in society, you can find people who are going along with this. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Doesn't mean the business necessarily is taking part in it, but the people that do it. Like Becky at the grocery store the other day, she was a gang stalker, and she realized I had my camera on. She's probably had this little skit all ready for me, and I ruined it. So she was pissed. That doesn't mean that the owner of the store knows that they do that. Very likely they do. I'm sure they have huge contracts with the federal government that say, hey, if you guys go along with this, tax break, this, that, whatever. Gang stalking for many is seen as a game, a sport to be played with another individual's life. Many do not understand or care that the end consequence of this game is to destroy a person. Why they gang stalk? So here, I'll go back. So these people that are out driving around in their cars, swerving at you, just being annoying, hitting their brakes in front of you, trying to cause car accidents. This is how compartmentalization works. They know that part. That's all they know. Hey, I'm supposed to get on this app. I go around when I get near this I'm supposed to go annoy this person, and get together with my group, go practice some of this stuff, and see if we can get them in an accident. I swear to God, that's how these people do this. Um, and they are murderers collectively. It's a murder system. It is conceivable that the participants in the harassment don't even know why the person has been targeted, or would most, nor nor would most of these individuals have any personal stake in harassing the victim. Gang stalking is so. Yeah, again, I'll go back. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So imagine there's a person that's trying to get information out to the public, to help the public, society in general. These people that they're going out to gang stalk, can't find another job. They want to be free, and they start participating in this program. They save up some money. They start their own business. They're feeling good about themselves. They realize how hard it is to run a business, and how the game is rigged. Start saying stuff about that, talking about the Federal Reserve and you know um, the government. Boom, they get targeted, and all of a sudden they're like, "Ah, God, these people are coming after me. This isn't just driving. This is people breaking into my house, hurting my animals, ruining my relationships, um, destroying my cars, banging on the window in the middle of the night, poisoning, rapes." Yeah, it's not just, hey, you're in your white car driving around. We're just gonna we're just gonna slow this person down, just so that they drive better. I'm sure they're told something stupid like that. I don't know. Gang stalking is gang stalking is an both an addictive okay both an addictive behavior as well as a form of entertainment for the stalkers. There is a vicious kind of pleasure that they derive from bullying their victim. Clearly, they like the feeling of being in control. So this where the psychopathic narcissism comes in, and the or sociopathic narcissism, just narcissism in general, different levels. And so these people, when you become aggravated because they're attacking you, which you should, when you're attacked, you should be able to protect yourself. You should be able to say something. You should be able to stop those people from doing that. And it's really tough. So I mean, you check the film all the time, but when they get you to like honk your horn or shake your fist at them or fuck you, whatever, they get that little smirk when you're doing that. And I don't even, sometimes they don't even know that they're getting that smirk. It just happens. But that's that gratification they get from narcissistic supply. When they get you to react, they thrive on that. They're like, that gets their battery going. They can make it through the day because they don't feel good about themselves. Low self-esteem, no creativity, no thought process other than black, white, do what you're told, do what you're told mentality. Uh, like our society's current obsession with reality TV, this activity must inevitably gain popularity as the ultimate experience of a reality entertainment. To the perpetrators, their targets are merely their prey in a game that never ends. But make no mistake, whatever the reasoning behind it, this is a vicious and calculated hate crime. This is absolutely a hate crime. I mean, it's so much of a hate crime that a guy committed a hate crime on me and they arrested me. The guy called me a faggot ass. I pulled up next to him after he called me that. I said, fuck you, motherfucker. He pulled a gun out of his window, then followed me to my house, and then they arrested me for aggravated assault with a firearm after I tried to show them the video of him holding a gun out the window and said I wanted to press charges. I said, why can't I press charges against him? They won't give me that video. I want to press charges against him. Why can't I press charges against him? So this is a hate crime. This is a hate crime. It's not allowing you to utilize the system in the same way that other people are if you're not in their fucking club. And these people, it's like Pokemon Go. I think Pokemon Go was like the initial, or they might even use Pokemon Go. I don't know. They use something. They use some kind of game like that, app like that, where they get your photo. You're like a Pokemon. Um, they get your photo, they get video, they do all kinds of different stuff, and they probably level up eventually once they do certain things. So, which is good for us because that's going to show uh, some kind of proof through metadata, through linking people together. Somehow it's going to show. All right. Others are blackmailed or forced into taking part in this activity. Yeah, I think some people that have prison sentences or different things. They'll say, "Hey, we'll reduce your sentence. We'll let your cousin out. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll make some kind of deal um, if you gang stalk for us. You'll get paid, but you gotta." So, or like say prostitute that gets busted being prostitute, and then they're like, "Hey, we need you don't have to go to prison. You're too pretty for prison. We could use you as a honey trap. Um, Here's your script. Practice this. Stick with this person as long as you can. Act like you're helping them, and then covertly just destroy everything that you can." And then, of course, they'd have to pick somebody that's intelligent, also. So that could happen. That's where the honey traps probably come from. Others go along with it because they want to fit in and feel a part of something that is large and powerful. Exactly. Power in numbers, posse comitatus, the power of the people. You know, some of these people, I think, didn't get, well, they're tribal. They're tribal minded. If I just stick with the herd, I won't get peeled off. It's animalistic. Um, Kind of thought process. And some just, maybe they got like picked on in high school, bullied, which I understand if somebody gets bullied, you want to stand up for yourself, but that doesn't mean you should join a group that is going to be a collective murdering unit to basically covertly murder people you know nothing about their history. Some are part of community groups who believe they are uh, targeting an undesirable. So here, this part here, undesirable. Think of how many groups with different ideologies, uh, different beliefs, different morals. So, like, say the Mormon Church, they supposedly they don't like to do anything. Uh, let's see, I shouldn't say like do anything. They they say no sex, no if you're not married, no um, anything, caffeine, all this different stuff. So, say you have somebody that moves into a Mormon area, and that person, let's say they have their cannabis card, they drink a lot of coffee, they can sit out in public, drink coffee, um, just do things that, they've got a chatterbait channel or something like that where they're doing sex online. There's just everything legal, but completely against the way that big group um, thinks. well, that person becomes an undesirable. They're not illegal. They're not doing anything unconstitutional. They're not doing anything that hurts anyone else. But they are an undesirable, so they would get gang stalked, and vice versa. Any group. I just used the Mormons. That's just one group that they do gang stalk. Methods used against targets. Classical conditioning here. I better plug this in. I think it's about to. There we go. Classical conditioning, getting a target sensitized to sounds, colors, patterns, actions. Example, red, white, yellow strips, pins clicking, key jangling, coughing, sneezing, whistling, finger snapping, clapping, etc. That's exactly correct. So you hear me talk about the different color vehicles. One day it'll be like all white vehicles and red vehicles, and then one day it'll be like mostly blue that are just, they're driving around, they're right next to you, they're right in front of you, and you're like, man, this is the 100th blue car that's been right next to me, or just driving really shitty near me today. I've got it figured out to where I can spot it. I can tell you what color cars come around the corner usually, or not usually, sometimes. Because of the just the standard operating procedures. It's so obvious that these people have standard operating procedures that they read out of a technical order that somebody provided to them, and they just do their job. Because if you find a way to get them to break from their part from their role, they're not good at ad-libbing, and it gives them away. And some of them are trying to be obvious to let you know, like, the pins clicking. Like, say you had, like, they'll probably do this to me now, but I do this while I'm walking around the house. It doesn't sensitize me. I do it sometimes, but not intentionally. I'm gonna walk behind somebody, behind their ear, and be like, click, 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 click. Who would do that? Yeah. Say you're in the grocery store, in each aisle you go onto, when you're getting whatever thing you're getting, somebody's just standing there clicking a pin. Click, 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 click. And you notice it, and you go to the next aisle, and then somebody else just click, 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 click. Okay, and just keep going every aisle, and then pretty soon, if you don't notice that, all these different people that just happen to be right where you are clicking a pin, you're probably stupid. You wouldn't not be able to know you're being targeted. If you are questioning that you may possibly be targeted, you haven't made it to the covert part yet. I mean, the overt part yet. My apologies. When it goes overt, it's meant for you to know. All right, so 24/7 surveillance. Let's see, what should I go back to? Wait, here's okay, the conditioning. Here's one of the things that I deal with. And it might get to that down here, but one of the things I deal with is directed conversation. So I'm having this conversation right now. I'm talking on my computer, or like, say I'm in my house having a conversation with somebody, nobody else is around. I'll go to the store 20 minutes later, and somebody will have a conversation that will basically mimic the conversation I just had. And then they'll be looking back, and they'll kind of give you a little look like, yep, I'm reading a script right now. And so that would that make you feel uncomfortable? I think it would. I don't like it. I'm going to find people responsible for doing this also. I want my privacy and my freedom back. I've never done anything. I've never gone through due process for anything. I got a DUI when I was 19. I'm 44 years old now. since that time, I got 16 medals and ribbons on my uniform. And yes, in the Air Force, we call them medals and ribbons. Somebody told me I called them the wrong thing one time. You weren't in the military. That's the kind of thing they do. That's the kind of thing they do. They'll tell like I've got a photo of me standing by my old crash truck right here in front of me. I could get in that truck still and drive it probably. Uh, I've got all kinds of photos. I've talked about basic training, and I have photos of the fire academy that I went to, and done documentaries. And then people will get on here and question that I've done anything. You haven't done any of this, or even like out in public. They'll try to put you down, like, yeah, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. And really, it was a slow station, so we weren't busy. But yeah, I've done everything I've said I've done. Yeah, the surveillance thing is ridiculous. So I've told this story before. I plucked some eyebrows. If I don't pluck my eyebrows, I'll have like two giant caterpillars on my forehead. So trimming those up in my bathroom upstairs, no one around, no one can see through that window and see what I'm doing. Go to the store later, the guy stops what he's doing in the back, starts this real loud conversation about how fags only, this is in Carl's Jr. also, how only fags pluck their eyebrows, and he would never do that because only fags pluck their eyebrows or trim their eyebrows or something like that. But he was saying it loud, so everyone in the restaurant can hear it. Um, so that's an example of the 24-hour surveillance, 24/7 surveillance, 365, and some of the direct conversation. Now this is just like one small instance. Coincidences happen, but these are theatric events intended to get your attention, to let you know that you're being surveilled, so you never feel safe, never feel like you can do personal things in your home that you would you know that you would do. Just think about what I'm talking about. Taking a shower, you know, being with your girlfriend or whoever, you know, things you do when you shut the door. None of that's private anymore. And where's it going? If they know what's going on, like, is there video? It's being sold on the dark web. All right, so surveillance. This will involve following the target everywhere they go, learning about the target, where they shop, work, play, who their friends and family are, getting close to the target, moving into the community or apartment where they live, across the street, bugging targets, phone, house, computer activity, all of that, all of that. So they got me to think that my son hurt my dog for a little bit because I was getting surveilled 24/7. So I'm over at these people's house, barbecue in the backyard, pool. When my son's at home hanging out with his buddy, the dog gets hurt while I'm gone. And since they do surveillance 24/7 on everyone that is around you, so they knew that the dog was hurt before I did. Somehow got information to this guy at the party, and he kept coming up to me over and over, asking me about my dog, telling me the story about his dog, how I got bit in the face by a rattlesnake, and it cost him $2,800. And wouldn't I spend all that money for my dog if my dog got hurt? You just have to spend that money because it's your dog. You could love him, right? Like, I was like, look, dude, yes, if I had the money, you know. And he told me the story like 5 times, to the point where I was like, God, shut up, man. How does your wife deal with you? But then I realized he was a gang stalker. He's just trying to irritate me, and he's like all excited, saying this stuff over and over and over. Um, he was a smart guy, but fuck that guy. He didn't like me. His wife was attracted to me. I could tell. I made sure I quit sitting next to her. It was going to be a problem. I think it might have been an engineered issue. So he could be like, what are you talking to my wife? That way I just kept going away from her. That way she wouldn't She would keep talking to me, get all drunk in my face. You're nice. Anyway, getting close to the target, moving into the community apartment where they live in cross street, bugging target's phone, house, computer activity. Isolation of the target. This is done via slander campaigns. I talk to people about this all the time. Like, what pops up on their app? You know, is it engineered for them? Like, this person hates pedophiles the most. Let's tell them all their targets are pedophile. This person owned a store and they got held up by an armed gunman 10 years ago. They have a personal vendetta against somebody who does that, which, yeah, they should. But all they have to do, the people who are running this, the handlers, and just go, okay, well, this person right here, they're involved in an armed robbery. So, and then that person that has a traumatic memory of being held up at gunpoint. So like, oh, I'm going to get this motherfucker, when the guy probably was like, hey, 9/11 was bullshit. You know, I had a secret clearance, talked to some people. This was done for profit and for the Patriot Act. You know, and then they're like, boom, targeted. Let's see. What are we going to call this one? Something different to everyone. You know, like, imagine that. So somebody with power can just, a lie can make it halfway around the earth before the truth has a chance to get its. Jeez, man, I cannot talk. A lie can get halfway around the earth before the truth has time to get its pants on. Because people have a knee-jerk reaction and they just go, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with this. The police said it. They're all good. You're like, oh, well, and it might go higher than that. The police down, here on this level, most of them good guys, but then there's a few in there that go ahead and take the orders from the higher ups. And I don't mean like their chief. I mean like people that are in control. And then follow through with this nonsense. The slander campaign, man. It's got to be what half the dirty looks are. They just open their phone and it's like, this guy did this. Fill in the blank. And they're like, oh, well, here, what did it say here? Saying the target is a thief, into drugs, a prostitute, pedophile, crazy, in trouble for something, needs to be watched. False files will even be produced on the target, shown to neighbors, family, storekeepers. Yeah, like, I'd love to see what my file says about me. I'd love to see what my file says about me. If it shows a history of anything, any kind of like interactions I've ever had with the police, I would love to have that so I could help write my movie about this shit. How planned out this is. Oh, great. Now they're playing music out here in the background. Neighbors, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm making my video. See, this, if I wasn't making this video, they wouldn't be out there at 9 o'clock. They're never up that early out there playing music. It's just when I open my door. And then people go, well, how do you know if the music is playing if your door is shut? Yeah, so I think all of this has been said about me. Pretty sure. Mike's girlfriend said they would always call her a prostitute. Fuck, who knows? Maybe she was. I don't know. That's the thing. She sure as shit seemed to play a part in the street theater in the grocery store and start arguments the day before I had to go to court. And a bunch of other perfectly timed weird stuff. Oh, here we go. Oh, hey, that music turned off. Imagine that. Disrupting the target's life. This is why I have dark circles under my eyes. And I apologize that this video is really long. I didn't realize it was going to be this long, but this is a pretty good write up here on urbandictionary.com. Okay, disrupting the target's life. Sleep with loud power tools, construction, stereos, doors slamming, etc. Talking in public about private things in the target's life. Boom, right there, what I was talking about earlier. Mimicking actions of the target. I remember when my wife left, I was at home. I was crying, man. You ever been through a divorce? Happens. You cry. Usually about having no money left, but no, I was missing my wife. Yeah, well, that's a long story. This is the part of the psyop. Part of the psyop. You never get any closure on anything. You don't know the true story. You don't know really what happened, and they want it that way. Basically, letting the target know that they are in the target's life. Daily interferences, nothing that would be too overt to the untrained eye, but psychologically degrading and damaging to the target over time. Yeah, like everywhere you go, like right after I got arrested, everywhere you go, all the gang stalkers, every single one of them, bye, 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 goodbye, over and over and over throughout the entire day, everywhere. But they accentuate it, bye, creepy style like that, bye. So if you imagine you like, who do you go to complain about that? You go to the police and say, okay, so everywhere I've gone today, people seem to like get on their phone when I go into the store, and then in our conversation, at the end of the conversation, they say bye, and then all these license plates, like everywhere you go, somebody pulls in front of you, cuts you off, slams on the brakes, their license plate is bye. Yeah. There's one in Arizona Auditor's video. It's Infraguard. He just We were watching his video. I go, oh yeah, there's one of them right there. He just happened to be the Infraguard guy lying to Arizona Auditor. Yeah, I don't work here. Do you know how to get in? And the next thing you know, the guy's punching the code in his white truck, white Infraguard truck. Oh, they even talk about street theater in here. Man, this is a pretty good write-up. Good explanation. Everyday life breaks and street theater. Yeah. Flat tires, putting dirt on targets' property, mass strangers doing things in public to annoy targets. These strangers might get text message, be at a specific time and place, and perform a specific action. Absolutely 100% correct. While you're driving in traffic, they'll have one of these crews in front of you, and they'll, if they're say there's 10 more cars in traffic than there's supposed to be in one area, that could clog it up, and that's all they would need. So they'll get all the same color car, get up in front of you, and get everybody ready to have the people in front slow down. That makes everybody else in the back have to hit their brakes. You're not paying attention. You get a text message at that exact moment. You go, oh, I'm gonna pick my phone up. Check it out. Bam! You rear-ended them. The average lawsuit in California when I was doing insurance was like $250,000, $300,000 average for rear-ending somebody or being in an at-fault accident. Um, you know, imagine those guys. Hey, we got the lawsuit. We'll split that up. Organized crime, RICO Act violation. But then I'm sure they send the text. And the text is usually like, it might be a text from a business that you already were getting a text from, like the car wash or I don't know, the eyeglass place or eyeglasses ready or whatever. The business could send that text. The NSA or whoever is monitoring your phone, hacking your stuff, they could just hold it until that exact moment. Boom, you get the text from the car wash. Hey, get a free car wash. Bam. So that's only one example. I get phone calls right in the middle when I'm talking to somebody on the phone. I won't get a phone call all day. Then when I'm on the phone talking to somebody, I'll get 3 or 4 phone calls right in the middle of that. And I'm waiting for a call back from my attorney. He's supposed to be calling me back. So I'm thinking, man, should I answer this? Is it the attorney? And then I answer it, and it's, your pre-approved student loan is going to run out of time. Like, no, I don't have a student loan. I'm not taking any loans. Took one out for my business to try to get ahead here. Uh, yeah. Not anyway. Things aren't looking good. They go after your finances. So, all right, let's see. God, man, that this is a good. This is whoever wrote this. It's good. It might seem harmless to the strangers, but it could be causing great psychological trauma for the target. Example, blocking target's path, getting ahead of them in line, cutting and boxing them in on the road, saying or doing things to elicit a response from targets, etc. Exactly. Every time I go into the store. Last night, I went into the store. I went back to get a beer. Guy sitting in his silver car, just sitting there, waiting for the exact same time I go in and waiting. And I just sat there and waited for a little bit because I saw him, and I'm like, I'm gonna let this guy just sit there and wait for quite a while to make so it makes it obvious. Get out of my truck, go in. The guy zooms in, so we go in the door at the exact same time. He goes in front of me, and of course stands. He goes to exactly where I'm going to go because I know where I'm going to go. Stands there, opens the door, just stands there. They do it every fucking time. Just stands there. Like, I wonder how long, if I just stand there and look at them, how long they'll stand there trying to figure out what they want. But then they're just in your way. And then you go up to pay, and then 3 or 4 people just jump in line, and all of a sudden they have some kind of issue. Oh man, I must have entered the wrong number on my card. The point of sale system isn't working. This, that, other, with there's always something. That happens in normal everyday life. But this is when they create this to where you never have a normal transaction when you go into the store. Never normal interaction. Yeah, and it does get you. I wanted to punch that guy right in his fucking face last night because he was not there on his own accord. He got paid to go get in my way. And then it makes me sound like the asshole. I'm like, the people are in my way. But when people are constantly impeding your progress, it slows you down. It steals your time out of your life. They might as well come into your house, which they do. But say you had some gold bars in your safe, and they just came in every once in a while, and they just cut a little gold sliver off, over and over and over and over until basically the whole safe was full of gold. They've cut all these slivers off until all your gold is gone. They've got a giant truck full of gold slivers. They melt it down. They got all your gold bars. It's the same thing. I never thought I would understand what a microaggression is, but that's basically what it is. You get 1 million people to perform a microaggression, or you get one person to go shoot somebody in the head. You know, to go have somebody shoot somebody in the head, that's instant. But then there's like a big mess. It's obvious. It was a murder. This, when they have a ton of people involved in it, there's no mess. It just makes the target look like the crazy one, when actually the crazy people are the psychopathic narcissists that are performing this gang stalking. And the target will eventually probably kill themselves, end up in prison for acting out, just destroying one of these people. God, I wanted to decleat that guy last night. And they take away your manhood too. They take away your right to protect yourself. Basically, like I know the people that are doing this. I know they make it over. They make it intentional that you know exactly what they're doing to go get in your way. I know they're doing it. I should have the right to say, hey, the fuck is your problem? Call the police and say, hey, listen, this person, he's one of these people. I can explain to you exactly how this works. You need to come down here and arrest this person. Or not arrest them. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's how this is so tough, because you can't arrest somebody for walking into the store and getting a drink. But they can't, obviously, they can investigate people. If there's suspicion. I mean, they're stopping people all the time for suspicious activity. Why can't I report suspicious activity and have have some help, get some backup. Why? Because the police are part of it. Boxing them in on the road, right there, all the fucking time. They just box you in, and you can't get over, you can't go forward, you can't get in. And then pretty soon you're like, and these people are doing this shit on purpose. It only takes 4 people to box you in. They're keeping you from doing the speed you want to do, whether it's lower than the speed limit or higher than the speed limit, or they're keeping you from doing that basically. So I just slow down. The person behind me is either going to hit me or what, and then I get over to the right or left. I get out of their fucking floating box, and then yeah, but they just keep lingering. And what they want you to do is get so pissed off that you just step on it, plow into one of them, cause an accident. The cops show up. The cops already know it's going to be your fault. Like, it's going to be your fault no matter what. Even if it's the gang stalker's fault, they're going to arrest you. They proved that when I got arrested. They proved it. The fucking guy pulled a gun on me. I got it on video. They arrested me. The guy said, he pointed the gun at me. And they were like, sounds reasonable. No, we don't want to see any video. Show it to the judge. Like, these guys are anti-video. They wouldn't look at my video. They won't give me their videos that they took during this. I'll get them eventually. Exculpatory evidence. Where can you get help if you're a target? Use these great links to more. I've never heard of Gang Stalking CA. I've never heard of catchcanada.org, and I've never heard of richessence.com. I'll check those out. Who knows? But they might be. I don't know. There's an anti-gang stalking law starting in California, I think. See, that's where I used to own my house. They wanted to get me out of there before the law went into place. However, when targets seek help, let's see, is this target? Okay, it's almost over. However, when targets seek help, they still get quite a bit of resistance. Some people in today's society even try to pass gang stalking off as a form of paranoia, even though the meetings in Toronto are held out of the Toronto Rape Crisis Center, and many women's support groups and crisis centers are now aware of gang stalking and even training their workers to deal with this form of harassment. Wow. In Korea, the online version of this is in Korea? In South Korea? Is this South? Okay, that's why my wife went to Korea for 2 years. In Korea, the online version of this is well acknowledged and has been written about in the International Herald Tribune. Really? I'll be reading that article. Gang stalking has... Okay, yeah, my ex-wife lived in Korea for 2 years. She talked about how all the kids want to be gamers when they grow up. God damn you, Jillian. Gang stalking has also been recognized by members of the mobbing community. The mobbing community? Mobbingusa.com? Gangstalking. Seriously? Okay, looks like I've got a little more research to do. Got a helicopter on its way about to fly over my house. Here they go. Gang stalking has all... okay. The problem with gang stalking, just like other urban slang, is that it has not been normalized in society, and until it is, people will continue to misunderstand this modern-day reincarnation of several old-time harassments. Example, gang stalking is similar to what the KKK used against blacks in the South. That's why that black lady said, I know what gang stalking is, I'm black. And I was like, why? Okay, wait, I don't know the context here. Like, why would you know that? Because you're black. Can you explain? She's like, no. And she wouldn't say anything. Hitler's brown shirts used against the Jews, and what the organized harassment the Stasi used against dissidents in East Germany. So the KKK in the South, Hitler's brown shirts used against the Jews, and what The organized Stasi used against dissidents. Yeah, Eastern Germany, Stasi police. It can be hoped that with enough education and understanding, this issue will someday become normalized in society, and that there will be enough understanding and support for targets. Community mobbing, organized stalking, multi-stalking, cause stalking, group stalking. So, okay, so I'm about to go out to the store. I'm just going to go get a couple of these pods for the Jewel, nicotine. And it's Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday today. So who knows? Maybe people will still be at church. They won't be out gang stalking much. Maybe they'll, but maybe they will. But it doesn't matter. When I go into a store, I'm not going to get what I ask for. Very seldom. They have in stock the thing I'm looking for, and it's not a ridiculous deal. It's just over and over and over and over. I don't have a ridiculous request. I ask for simple things, and they mess it up all the time. They will just fuck up the transaction. So I'm going to go deal with that right now. It doesn't matter if I talk about it ahead of time or anything. The app pops up, GPS. There we go. All right, wish me luck, everybody. That was a good right up there. Top definition. All right, check that out.